USCJ? It's your boy Jayden. Really appreciate what you're doing for USC culture, man. Go on.
Going on, shout out USCJ, man. Appreciate the support.
Shout out to USCJ, you know what it is, nothing but love, man.
All right, so this weekend is a huge matchup with the number 17th ranked USC Trojans, my Trojans, fight on, versus the 21 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, for USC, this is a huge matchup. It's a playoff elimination game for them, as right now we're sitting pretty comfortably at the upper tier of our conference of the Big Ten with just one conference loss against Illinois early in the season. Now, our team has made a lot of adjustments to position ourselves in the place that we are right now. So I know that this game means the world to these fellas. All right. Not only that, but this is homecoming. This is USC's homecoming game. And even though the weather's not going to be ideal, it looks like there's like a 70% chance of rain this Saturday. I believe that the USC faithful are going to show up and show out. And so here are my 10 reasons why USC dominates, gets the job done, and leaves the Coliseum this Saturday afternoon, November 15th, with a dub and takes that next exponential step towards the college football playoff. As we prepare, let's dive in. Let me explore and express my 10 reasons why I know that my Trojans are going to be victorious. So, number one, USC's offense is just too explosive. Like, we are, I think, the second ranked offense in the country. And every time I look at the numbers, it just blows my mind because we're putting up over 500 yards of offense every game and we're scoring nearly 40 points per game. And that's against some elite level defenses, all of which are in the Big Ten Conference. And you couple that with the game that we played against Notre Dame. That was a tough competitive game in South Bend earlier this season, where our team was still kind of getting their feet under them. But the weather was ugly. It was soggy. It was rainy. The field was wet. The conditions weren't ideal for how we tend to like to play football. However, I know that we've gained a lot of experience from that competition. So I think that we take the information that we gathered for some of the inclement games that we played this year. Also, Purdue was a little messy as well on that away game. It was freezing cold in Nebraska when we played, at their stadium just, I think, 3 weeks ago. So when you add all of these different atmospheres, different variables, all of the inclement weather, I think that just creates a nice recipe for a well-rounded team who understands what they have to do no matter what the conditions. The only thing is, what we have working for us this time is we are at home. Yeah, so they say it never rains in sunny Southern California. Yeah, that's cap, because it's raining this weekend. You see, I'm bundled up right now. So that weather, I don't think it's going to stop us because we're just too good. I mean, we're like the top of the country good offensively. And, Iowa's defense is tough. I'll give that to them. But I don't believe that they've dealt with an offense like ours all year. The closest that they've got to it was an Indiana team that isn't as balanced as we are and don't have the outside threats the same way we do with Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane. On top, you couple that with the tight ends and a rushing attack from both quarterback and running back. That's a lot to handle. And the Oregon Ducks, when they played them last week, they weren't at full strength with their receiving core. So we're at home. And bottom line is we defend our castle. All right. Reason USC defeats Iowa, number 2, we are at home. We don't lose in the Coliseum. That's just what it is. We protect our house. So far this season, we're perfect at home, and you could just feel the energy building each and every single week. I was walking into the Coliseum for not just a normal Big Ten game, but this is our homecoming game. where we have extraordinarily high hopes and extraordinarily high competitive spirit. Not to mention that we're going to have all of our recruits in the stands, our recruits on the sideline. So, when it's time for us to put on, we put on for our city. And that's just, it is what it is. So I can't wait to welcome these Hawkeyes to an extremely hostile environment. All right. Reason USC defeats Iowa number 3, Lemon Lane. Jacoby Lane and Makai Lemon are going to put on for the city. Makai is a problem. He has been the most unguardable wide receiver all year in NCAA. And then Jacoby, now that he's getting healthy, now that he's back up to speed, that's a dynamic duo that you can't stop. And we can't forget about our freshman, Tanuk Hines. Tanuk Hines, he could take the top off the defense at any time. He is lightning fast. You got Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane. Forget about it. Our receiving core, so the country says, I've read some stats or I've read some reports that says our receiving core isn't deep. Bro, no one understands the competitive depth that we have on this roster, especially at wide receiver. Just because you haven't seen those dudes play, I know what type of talent that we have on the outside, in the slot, as well as tight end. So let's bring it back to Makai. Makai is going to be a headache for Iowa. They have never played this season somebody with as much versatility as he has. And I can't say enough about the kid. I mean, he's electric. And honestly, I really, truly don't believe anyone in Iowa's secondary has the speed or versatility to deal with him for all 4 quarters. You might be able to slow him down in spurts, but you can't contain him all game. That's why he wears number 6. So we call him Quick 6, because he gonna light up the scoreboard all day long. Reason number 4 why my USC Trojans are gonna take down those Hawkeyes is Jayden Maiava. Jayden Maiava has done exceedingly, abundantly, above and beyond everything that we all could have expected this season, and he is only getting better. As he is adding his rushing attack to his weaponry, that just gives our offense such another level of complexity that the defense has to deal with. It's too much. It's just too much to handle. I'm going to say something. This season, Jayden Maiava reminds me of 2 quarterbacks. I'm going to give you a college comp and then also an NFL comp. So in college, he reminds me a lot of Marcus Mariota. And although that dude played for, the Oregon Athletics up there, he has a similar style. He may not be as fast, but he has an ability to take over a game with his arm and his leg the same way Marcus Mariota did when he won the Heisman some years back. Now, in terms of a pro comp, Jayden Maiava, he really, really manages and puts a game together, and he reminds me of Colin Kaepernick a lot. After watching what he did at Nebraska, all I could see was Cap doing his thing for the Niners. And I thought right then and there, that's who he plays like. He has that type of great game-breaking ability, game management ability, and he commands his team with composure and class. So if our offensive line keeps Jayden Maiava clean, he's going to have a field day no matter what the weather is like. And I stand on that. So O-line, we got to keep him clean. And if we do, it's going to be good night for Iowa, because they will not be able to score with all of the arsenal that Jayden Maiava, along with our offense, can summon up. All right. The 5th reason that USC is going to dominate the Iowa Hawkeyes is we convert on big downs. We are one of the highest 3rd and 4th down efficiency teams in the country. And that is one of my favorite stats. Essentially, we convert on half of all of our 3rd downs, and we score in the red zone just like clockwork. When we cross those 20s and we get into the red zone, you can guarantee points are on the board. If it's not touchdowns and tutties, if we're not getting pay dirt, our kicker has been phenomenal. Ryan Sayeri, he's been lights out. He only has 1 miss on the season. That dude's kicking well above that 98% with accuracy. And so I know that when we're scoring in the red zone, when we're converting on 3rd downs, when we're converting on 4th downs, that's championship type efficiency. That's why I'm extremely confident in what my Trojans are going to do against Iowa's defense. And again, I stand on that they have not had to play a team offensively with this level of offensive prowess. So we have to make sure that we stay on schedule, stay on time, and I'm confident that our team can take care of the rest. I mean, respectfully, I know that Iowa has a pretty good defense, but it doesn't frighten me that much, which leads me to my sixth reason why USC is going to beat the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think Iowa's defense is good, but I know that our offense is elite. So USC's offense is top in the country in most statistical categories of substance. I'm not going to go down the list, but I will tell you right now, our offense we're averaging over 300 yards a game. And I just don't think Iowa can keep up with that pace. I mean, they haven't shown all year long that that's the type of tempo that they can keep up with, let alone keep us from scoring our nearly 40 points a game. So, yes, it's going to be a nice offensive defensive match, but I just believe that we have too much on the outside. We have too much diversity in our running and rushing attack. And then our tight ends, they're too multiple in what they can do. So, yeah, the sixth reason USC is going to dominate the Iowa Hawkeyes is because, yeah, Iowa has good defense, but USC's offense is elite, which takes me to my next reason, the seventh reason why USC is going to dominate and destroy the Iowa Hawkeyes this Saturday at homecoming is because I know for a fact that our front seven has a talent edge. I believe we're more talented on both sides of the ball. Our defensive front is stacked and we have pure athletes. Our edges are long and athletic and they're fast. They're violent, physical at the point of contact. Our interior, yeah, we got some younger guys in the interior, but they're just getting better and better as the season progresses. And with a potentially muddy, slippery game, I like the way we stack up against a team that just wants to run all game without proper footing. Now, I don't know if it is going to rain as hard as they say it is, or if the turf is going to be that much of a variable. I just have a belief that our defense can fly around fast enough to overcompensate for any uh, physicality. Because when you have a team that believes that they're more physical than you, which I've already heard on record, Iowa believes that they're more physical than USC, especially on the offensive line, which I do have respect for their O-line. They have to have good footing. They have to have proper ground to do that. And if it's slippery and muddy, I just don't know that they're going to be able to grip and drive the way that they want to against our front seven. So I'm stacking up our front seven against their offense all day of the week. Like, although our athletes are young, you could just see the growth. You could see the talent maturing week by week from Thanos to, I mean, I'll say hopefully we can get Floyd Boucard back. And if he's not back, Keyshawn Silver has been showing that he can hold the point really well down there in the center. We got Devin Tompkins who can go inside and out. But he could play the edge. He could play that nose. Heck, I believe, he can do a great job at the 3 technique if we needed him to in these types of situations. But essentially, I just have a lot of faith in our defensive front in this style of game, very similar to what we did to Michigan and how we closed out Nebraska and Northwestern in the second half. I just am very confident about what we're going to do. All right. And the eighth reason why SC is going to beat the Iowa Hawkeyes is everything's on the line. This is a huge motivation factor. We are literally banging on the door to reach the college football playoffs for the very first time. And with that being said, in this national spotlight, with these circumstances, during our homecoming, with the whole national narrative is we're soft, we're not strong enough, we can't hold up in the rushing game, all this stuff, it's time. It's time for my Trojans to show the world what's going on. Nobody's going to sleep on us. This is an early time slot game kicking off at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So a lot of eyes should be able to see this game. And I think it's exciting because it is the first like regular season meeting with USC versus Iowa in decades. I don't know when the last time. It could be, close to 30, 40 years that USC and Iowa actually met in the intra-season and not like postseason. So I'm excited for this, and I know my Trojans are too. I think it's a legacy game. I think it's a helmet game. These are two very respectable programs going head to head, and I think we're going to show their coach, Kirk Ferentz, who had a lot to say about our style of play. I think we're going to show him the business, and I believe Lincoln Riley does have a chip on his shoulder about some of the stuff that he said just a couple of years ago when SC merged with the Big Ten. The ninth reason why USC beats Iowa is the film that I've seen. Iowa has a lot of cracks. Their team, yes, they're disciplined, they're well-rounded in a lot of areas, but offensively, they just don't make me nervous. They don't show me enough at wide receiver. Yes, their tight ends do some tricky things, but they don't show me enough to give me that like nervous stomach feeling. I just believe it's going to be a physical, aggressive, possibly messy game. It might not be a very high scoring game, but no matter what it is, I just believe that my Trojans can score and outpace them. I mean, I was coming off a really, really tough loss, where they struggled. They struggled against Oregon. They gave up dang near 300 yards rushing against Oregon, right? And Iowa hangs their hat on being the more dominant team in the trenches on both sides of the ball, on both offensive and defensive lines. So for them to give up dang near 300 yards rushing to the Aflacs, who are mostly known as a passing type team, it just gives me a lot of confidence at what our multiple style of offensive weaponry can do. And what's moreover is Dante Moore is not even that much of a rushing style quarterback. He's got some, he got some wiggle to him. I mean, he does have a little juice when he escapes the pocket, but I don't think that he has that get up and go like Jayden Maiava does. So and I could just see Jayden's confidence rising so much, understanding where he can take his shots downfield in the passing game, as well as knowing when he can tuck that thing and steal a couple of yards because he's got them out leveraged in when the pocket collapses or breaks down. So I'm just super excited about that. And I don't believe that we're going to have any turnovers this game. I do feel like we're going to win the turnover match in this particular game. As long as we hold Iowa to no fluky special teams types, weird things that they do, because they are very, very disciplined in special teams, with exception to that weird punt that got snapped over the kicker's head last week that gave Oregon those extra 2 points and a safety, and those 2 points were the game-winning points, in my opinion. I think that was the variable, the factor that allowed Oregon to win that game was those 2 points from that safety. I just know that our coaches are going to dial our athletes in on making sure that we win at all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And then with home field advantage, with the crowd noise, with some factors, and then the mindset that we're not physical, I think we're about to punch these dudes in the throat. And that's what I honestly believe. So the 10th and final reason why USC beats Iowa this weekend is even the statisticians believe that the Trojans are going to win. We're I think we're -6 right now on the point spread favorite. And if you look at all of the stats and all of the analytics, the odds makers, the models, all of the prediction breakdowns I've looked at, they're all leaning USC. So Vegas is leaning USC. There's something about Vegas and odds that they really do understand the dynamics and how the nuances of these types of games flow. So I usually go against the grain with that stuff and go off my gut and my instinct or what my eye test is. But for this particular matchup, I have to say my eyes tell me SC is the better team. The stats, the odds makers, the national pundits across the country who are talking about this game, who are breaking down this game, and plus the athletes that I talk to in the locker room, they know what's going on. So believe me when I say our Trojans are going to take care of business this weekend against Iowa, and we're going to do it in dominant fashion. And we're going to bring home this victory And